All right, let's talk about mindfulness. It's a word we hear everywhere, right? But what does it really mean? Well, today we're going to go way beyond the buzzword. We're diving straight into the ancient Pali scriptures to decode the original powerful concept of sati. So let me ask you, how would you define mindfulness? Maybe something like being present, being aware, or just feeling calm. And look, those are all great starting points. But what you're about to see is that the original concept, it's so much more active, so much more transformational than we usually think. To really get to the heart of it, we have to look at the words themselves. In Pali, in their original context. This is how we get a direct, completely unfiltered look at these ancient ideas. It's like we're brushing off the dust to see what's really underneath. Okay, so our journey starts with one single, absolutely crucial word. Sati. This is the Pali term that started it all. It's the origin of our modern idea of mindfulness, and believe me, it holds the key to everything. So in the Pali Canon, sati is so much more than just awareness. Its root actually means to remember. So right away, this tells us it's an active mental faculty. It's the practice of remembering what's helpful and remembering what to let go of. A lot of modern mindfulness is presented as this kind of passive observation. But sati? Oh no, it's recollection with a purpose. It's totally intentional. And here's where it gets really interesting. In the scriptures, you almost never find sati all by itself. It's usually part of a team. Take this common phrase, for example. Bhikkhu sato sampajano, which means the monk, mindful and clearly comprehending. See that? Sati is paired up with another concept, something that gives it direction and wisdom. And that partner in crime is sampajanya. This translates to clear comprehension or sustained awareness. So think of it like this. If sati is the faculty that remembers to switch on the spotlight and point it at something, sampajanya is the wisdom that understands exactly what that spotlight is illuminating. They're a dynamic duo. Sati keeps the focus and sampajanya provides the clarity. So what's great about these texts is they don't just talk about all the good stuff. They're also super practical. They give us a roadmap for the things that get in the way, the obstacles that block our mental clarity, and these are known as the hindrances. And one of the core ideas here is just brilliant. For every single mental roadblock, there's a direct antidote. For instance, you have kodo, which is anger or ill will. The text immediately contrasts it with its opposite, akodo, non-anger or friendliness. This is huge. It shows that the practice isn't just about passively watching your anger. It's about actively, purposefully cultivating its opposite. The texts actually lay out a whole list of these niwaranani, these hindrances that cloud up the mind. You've got things like thinamidha, that's sloth and torpor, that heavy, sleepy feeling. Then there's vichikicha, or doubt. We've got kodo, anger. Upanaho, which is enmity or resentment. And makha, contempt. And the point is, you can't have true mental clarity when these things are running the show. Okay, so how do we actually work with these obstacles? Well, the scriptures don't just leave us hanging. They provide a complete, systematic framework for practice, a path that directly tackles these hindrances by, you guessed it, cultivating their opposites. And this framework has a name, the Aryo Atangiko Mago, or what's more commonly known as the Noble Eightfold Path. And it's really important to see it not as a list of strict rules, but as a complete training guide for the mind. The whole point is to lead to the end of that inner conflict, that suffering. So the path has 8 parts, and they all work together. It starts with wisdom. That's samaditi, or right view, and samasankappo, right resolve. Then it flows into ethical conduct, right speech, right action, and right livelihood. And the whole thing culminates in mental training, right effort, and then, look at this, number 7, samasati, right mindfulness, followed by samasamadhi, right concentration. See where sati fits? It's not the first step or the only step. It's the 7th step, deeply woven into a complete system for living. The texts are super precise about the job of right mindfulness, samasati. Its function is described by the word upatanhana, which means to establish or to set up. So, in a nutshell, right mindfulness is the act of setting up awareness in a skillful way, a way that's guided and supported by all the other 7 parts of the path. So, where does this whole path actually lead? What's the end game of all this practice? The scriptures are crystal clear. It's not just about feeling a little bit calmer or less stressed. The goal is way bigger. It's a fundamental, lasting transformation of the mind. The result of successfully walking this path, the destination, if you will, is described by the word vimutti. This means liberation, release, emancipation. We're talking about a profound kind of freedom. And it's not about escaping the world. It's about being released from all that inner turmoil caused by those hindrances we talked about earlier. And how is this liberation achieved? Well, the texts describe it as a process of extinguishing the root causes of our mental stress. Now, this isn't about suppressing bad feelings or forcing them down. It's much smarter than that. It's about removing the fuel so the fires of reactivity and negativity just fizzle out on their own. And this state, this extinguishing, is called nibbana. The word literally means to blow out, just like you'd blow out a candle flame. The texts define it as the complete extinguishing of what they call the three fires: greed, hatred, and delusion. And this is so important. It's not some heaven or place you go when you die. It's a state of ultimate mental well-being that can be experienced right here, right now, whenever those inner fires stop burning. So think about where we started. We began with our modern, maybe kind of vague idea of mindfulness, but after digging into the source texts, we can see Sati for what it truly is: an active process of remembering, working hand in hand with clear comprehension, all as part of a complete path leading toward total liberation of the mind. That's a game changer, right? It totally transforms the concept. So the final question is for you. Knowing its roots, what does Sati mean to you now?